Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my dear friends. It is a pleasure to share my views about the role of supply chain in greening the economy. In fact, I am very much enthusiastic about this topic that I have put this topic. So later I will discuss why this topic only. As for my introduction, I am Chandan Kumar. I am currently working as Deputy Chief Material Manager in Indian Railways. So just a brief about my introduction. Well, I have done Bachelor in Technology from IIT Kharagpur in Civil Engineering, and it was during this process that I had developed an acumen for research-oriented work. Thereby, I also had a patent, and subsequently, I have done MBA in supply chain. This I did when I joined the Indian Railways Store Service. So Indian Railway Store Service is basically catering about the whole material procurement for the Indian Railways. Material procurement, material inventory, material warehousing, material disposal. Subsequently, during the course of my study in supply chain, I understood the importance of environment in the supply chain. Now, we all are socially responsible human beings. Thereby, the impact that the whole supply chain has on the society is very paramount. The whole economy is governed by how our supply chain is being organized. In today's world, it is not that a product or a business process competes against each other. It is the whole network of supply chains against supply chains that compete against each other. So subsequently, being interested in environmental law, I even dwelt upon the topic of patent law, and I did a postgraduate diploma on that also. This was because in many ways the environmental law and patent law are antagonistic to each other. Patent law talks about individual rights. Patent law talks about proprietorship. It talks about maximizing one's value. Whereas environmental law takes care about the social responsibility. It takes care about the larger goal of reducing the external impacts to the environment and making us more socially responsible. Now let me tell you about my experience. I have got 9 years experience in supply chain management and 6 years in project management. Basically, I have worked first as a structural engineer in offshore field. So it was there in offshore field that you see there are petroleum refineries, offshore platforms are there where the oil is drilled out. Now it includes a lot of pollution, and the flare gas is also sought out. So a lot of carbon dioxide also is emitted. Basically, the prime driver of our economy is petroleum and other energy sources. As far as lot of issues about social and environmental concerns are there, it is the energy that is driving the economy. We will see in our presentation how energy consumption leads to a less sustainable supply chain and how we can optimize on that. So now I would not like to bore you with my introduction. Now let us move to the topic. So you must be wondering why I have selected this topic. Why this topic alone? Role of supply chain in greening the economy. Well, I would tell you that supply chain is a very, very vast field. It involves the second tier supplier supplying some product to the first tier supplier. The first tier supplier then supplying the product to the operations or where the product is being manufactured. After the product is being manufactured, even there is an internal supply chain. There are internal customers, and these and the internal producers give the product to internal customers. Subsequently, later on, once the finished goods is produced, then these goods they move to distributor, and then the distributor sends it to the retailer. The retailer then sends it to the final supplier. So this whole chain from upstream to downstream, that is from the second tier supplier or third tier supplier to the consumer, is a huge chain, and it does not involve a simple chain. That is it involves a complex web of interconnected suppliers and distributors and retailers and even manufacturers, with intercomplex system of the plant having in different locations. So it is a very complex problem and on how to optimize this supply chain. Further, adding the green component to the supply chain means that how can we make the supply chain more environmental friendly, having very less impact on the environment. So let us see how we'll go about it. However, now let me explain the term to you, the greening of the economy. Greening of the economy, it basically relates to about how we can reduce the externalities that we are having from the economic growth. Now let me share some of the pedagogies on how this greening can occur. Economy, is developing continuously. The population growth is going day by day. It was 5 billion, 6 billion. Now it is nearing 7 billion, and most probably by all UN estimates, it will be nearing 9 million by the next decade or so. So this economic growth is fueled by increasing population. We all need development. We all need economic prosperity. We all need good lifestyle and sustainable lifestyle. But how this sustainability is going to be achieved? Because if we produce carbon dioxide, if we overconsume, if we generate a lot of wastage resources, so this problem of increasing waste generation, it will couple and it will increase further. It will have a multiplier effect. So how to reduce this, how to have a sustainable component in the supply chain, and how it can lead to the greening of economy will be discussed here. Now let us look at today's agenda. The today's agenda is, first we will define what are the wicked problems. Then we will see how complex this problem is, how this problem is related to the individual choices, the concerns of the society, the interdependencies between various suppliers, various retailers and various distributors and various producers. And then we will look at what is green supply chain and how we can develop this concept of green supply chain. We can involve it into industry. We can involve it into everyday life. We can involve it in all our aspects of buying, purchasing, and individual consumption. We will see to that. Again, next we will see how these wicked problems and the supply chain are interrelated, and what effort can be done to reduce or mitigate these wicked problems, and how we can achieve a green economy. The role of supply chain in greening the economy will be discussed in detail, and further the business strategies that are involved in both manufacturing, that is both upstream the supply chain, in the supply chain, in the internal supply chain, and downstream of the supply chain will be discussed in detail. Thus, the overall objective of the presentation is to enlighten you viewers on how the supply chain is an enabling driver for sustainability and how we can, in the longer run, protect the environment by duly incorporating this green component into our overall processes. Many governments, communities, businesses, and international organizations have tried to develop green economies that can result in economic growth and social equity, both at one time. Are they not antagonistic to each other? How can we have both economic growth as well as how can we have social equity? So it is this green supply chain that caters to this aspect. We will have a brief look at it. So now let us move on with the presentation. I think I have given you an elaborate introduction. So let us go ahead with it. Now let us discuss what the wicked problems are. Basically, there are a lot of environmental challenges. The environmental challenges range from overconsumption. They range due to increasing waste, increasing population, and this climate change. These all are wicked problems. Now, why they are called wicked? They are called wicked because they are extremely complex and there are many causes and many dependent factors which influence these. There is lot of interdependency, lot of connectivity, and lot of linkages. We will see how these are linked. Wicked problem exists in the global system, and it is very hard to identify the problem itself firstly, and secondly the solution is very complex. Now, how it is hard to identify the problem? Now let me share with you that you must be aware that Al Gore was awarded the Nobel Prize for global warming. Okay, now you must have seen the movie The Day After Tomorrow. The Day After Tomorrow was a movie which depicted the Ice Age and how the Ice Age will come on this earth and it will have sustained impact on human ecology. Subsequently, it was not the global cooling that has come, but in 1997, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, got the Nobel Prize for bringing the global warming as a major concern, as an anthropogenic factor which is crucially affecting our lives. Thereafter, we had the Kyoto Protocol, and we had several other legal issues, several other legal documents that have been there to control the effect of the human-generated activity on the environment. Large-scale consumption is one of the major factors. Now, what is large-scale consumption? The population growth is increasing. Everyone is wanting a very good lifestyle. So obviously, the consumption will increase. The earning capacity of the population is increasing day by day. And by an enabling supply chain, we have got higher individual choices. Now, what do I mean by enabling supply chain? Enabling supply chain means that the supply chain has got a logistics component. The logistics component, it pertains to the transportation issues and it pertains to place and utility value of a product. It is because of the logistics that a certain good is available at a certain place at right time in right quantity so that it can be consumed. It is because of this enabling supply chain that individual choices are fulfilled. Earlier, what was happening, that we were not having such robust and responsive supply chain. Nowadays, you demand one product, you have got that product. So this is because the supply chain is very fast, cost drivers, and there are various other transportation drivers, economic flow, electronic commerce. These all are increasing the individual choices day by day. As the individual choices are increasing, so is the waste generation. You see, we are just increasing our consumption and we are increasing the waste generation. And if we don't think about how this waste generated will be recycled, how this waste will be reused, how this waste can be effectively used to propel a much better regeneration facility. This we will see here that all these are very wicked problems. The climate change. Now, climate change is a very big problem. It is a very big problem and it is a wicked problem because it was there since long. It is arriving slowly, and we even don't know about it, that it is arriving. Well, this problem was highlighted first by the famous chemist Arrhenius, and what he researched on was that how carbon dioxide, the increase in carbon dioxide of the atmosphere, increases the atmospheric temperature. So it was correlated that okay, the anthropogenic activity of increasing carbon dioxide emission is leading to climate change. But how far this is integrated was not known. It was only after a lot of research done by scientists and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change that we understand that release of more anthropogenic gases, greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, all these are resulting in warming of the climate, and this warming will slowly lead to melting of the glaciers. This melting of glacier will lead to an increasing sea level. Further, the increased temperature will lead to a volumetric expansion of the existing water volume, and lot of small islands like Kiribati, Tuvalu, Nauru, all these islands, even Andaman and Nicobar, they are highly susceptible to increasing sea level, and thereby a study was undergone by United Nations Climate Change Panel on how to on what are the perspectives of small island nations. Even the small island nation developed a group known as AOSIS to protect their interests and pushing the environmental issues much deeper into the international agenda during various UN meets, during sustainability meets, during the Earth Summit, during the Rio Summit held in 2012. So now, since we have seen what these wicked problems are, and these problems are very complex, there is no one solution. There can be many interconnecting solutions. So we will just look at how we can solve this problem using the green supply chain. Now let us look at what is green supply chain. The green supply chain, the definition is as follows, that it consists of green purchasing, it consists of green manufacturing, green distribution, green marketing, and reverse logistics. Now, what is green purchasing? Well, everyone knows that it is purchasing, procurement, all these are considered to be synonymous terms. But what is green in this? When the whole procurement process involves the social and environmental concerns, then it is known as green. It means that there is one business case, there is one environmental case, there is one social case. So this social, environmental and business case, all these cases intersect at one point, which is known as sustainability or the greening. So when we are involving all the environmental concerns in our purchasing activity, like how much carbon dioxide is released by a particular industry, and whether it is involved, whether that criteria is involved in purchasing the goods. How much, if an industry is following ISO norms, how far it is affecting the efficiency of that industry, and how far it is increasing the efficiency and the processes of goods and the services that are supplied by that industry, how it is leading to cost saving on a larger mass scale, because whatever we do, it has got negative repercussions. The negative repercussions can be explained by a certain example, that that we are using car. Now this car we are using, and it is increasing our mobility. It allows us to live far from our home place. It allows us to travel far distances to do the job. However, by increasing the efficiency of this car, by increasing the fuel efficiency, by having such environmental concerns in design, that we can reduce this fuel, this emission, the carbon dioxide emission and all that is emitting from this vehicle. However, the main aspect is how to that when we are talking about purchasing. Now, what are the criteria of buying a car? Whether that car is environmental friendly, because if the car is not environmental friendly and if it is emitting a lot of smoke, that smoke is a negative externality. It means that it may do your individual good, but on the larger scale, when that gas, when that smoke is released, it is polluting the environment. It is increasing the cost of a lot of things. Maybe it is increasing the cost of agricultural development. It is increasing the cost of more diseases. So maybe you never know that whatever you are doing, each and every activity is accountable on the whole global scale. Next, we look at green manufacturing. Green manufacturing means that we are manufacturing the product. We are designing the product such that its effect on the economy, on the environment, its effect on the environment is minimal. We are designing so as to streamline its disposal. We are designing the product so that it can be easily manufactured without much complexities, and the effect to the environment on this manufacturing is minimum. Next, we are talking about the green distribution. What is this green distribution? It means that for fulfilling the logistical requirements of place and time utility of a certain product, we need distributing this product to several facilities. Now, a product can arrive to you from Europe, as well as a product can arrive to you from India and many places. But how far distance that product is traveling to achieve this place and time utility, that is very important. The more the distance it travels, the more negative externality it adds to the environment through increasing pollution, increasing transportation costs, increasing energy consumption, which may seem very redundant, but all these small redundancies add up to a huge proportion. So this green distribution is a very integral part of green supply chain. Next is green marketing. How do we do green marketing? The concept of green marketing is that we popularize such products which are very environmental friendly. We use choicing. Well, choicing is an area where suppose you are going to the store. You are going to say Walmart store or any shopping complex. You are going and you are seeing all the products, and there are a lot of products that appeal to the eye. When you go there, you feel like taking that product. The retailer or the distributor in the Walmart store, they should keep such product in front that is more environmental friendly, and they should not keep such product that are environmentally hazardous. So by using choice editing, that is, the retailer or the distributor decides that, okay, this product is more harmful to the environment, I will not keep this in my store. And he keeps only those products which are more environmental friendly. In this way, he first choice edits what the supplier or the end consumer, should consume, so that the environment is negatively affected. However, there are a lot of difficulties in this choice editing, because one may know what the customer is demand. So again, there is the ambiguousness related to individual consumption comes to the forefront. Then we will just see what is this, and then there is reverse logistics. Reverse logistics means that when the particular product is consumed, after that it is discarded as a waste. Now this waste or scrap, how it is efficiently recycled so that it becomes an integral part of the initial manufactured product, or it becomes recycled and it can be used as a raw material for next cycle. So this reverse logistics means that this whole supply chain, we are closing the whole supply chain, not only from second tier, first tier manufacturer, then distributor, retailer, consumer, but then from the consumer, the whole product goes to the initial supplier through recycling and waste management. This is known as reverse logistics. Now, the whole concept of green supply chain is that we have to move from reactive monitoring to proactive reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reducing means that we are reducing the amount of consumption that we need. If we reduce our consumption, if we only consume what is very necessary, if we exercise individual choices by choosing the right product which has got less environmental externality, then we are then this system as reducing. Reusing means whatever has been used can still be reused in further value addition of a particular work or particular consumption cycle. What is recycle? Recycle is the process by which we are simply whatever is the discarded waste, we are again recycling it, we are using it as a raw material in the second cycle, or we are simply converting this waste into something useful for the whole society. So this is recycling. Now let us see what is green economy. Achieving green economy is one of the major challenges in the today's era. The term green economy was not there in literature much long ago. It first appeared in literature in 1989 in a book which is known as Blueprint for the Green Economy. And ironically, the green economy was the topic of the book itself. It was authored by David William Pierce. The term green economy then re-emerged again during the financial crisis in 2008, where many governments across the world needed to stop economic recession and they move ahead to protect the environment. United Nations Environmental Program is an a very active organization of the United Nations, and it is suggesting various financial support to climate and environment. It is encouraging use of cleaner technologies. It is encouraging use of sustainable practice for a greater economic growth. Green economy was again revisited in 2012 summit in Rio Plus 20 as the economy as an economy which generates increasing prosperity, and at the same time it reduces the environmental impact. Now, how is this possible? Well, this is possible when we try to balance the negative externality and the positive externality. I think you would have heard the name of Michael Stern. Michael Stern is a very famous ecologist who has put a price tag on each and every environmental resource that we are using. He has assessed what is the cost of having an artificial rainfall, and what is the cost of having a rainfall if it is environmentally propelled. So the cost of having a rainfall is having an artificial rainfall is tremendous, because it includes artificial seeding of the clouds, artificial iodizing of the upper surface of the cloud, and then how to generate the cloud. The generation of the cloud itself is very costly if it is generated through a mechanical process and an artificial process. But all these processes are very much easily done by our environment. So the main aim is to protect the environment. How we can protect environment? It is due to sustainability. By sustainable consumption, we can help in protecting the environment. Now, what is sustainability? Sustainability was defined by in the report Our Common Future in 1987. Now, what is sustainability? The sustainability component is when we are looking at the environmental concern also, we are looking at social concern also, we are looking at business concern also. Sustainability is defined as that we are satisfying our requirement without hindering the future generation to their ability to sustain their own needs. So this sustainability is a very important component in the green economy. Now we are generating we have to generate increasing prosperity and reduce environmental impact. Now let us look at what is market externality. Externality occurs when there is any act that you do which has got negative effect to the whole society, like driving a car. It may be very good for you, but whatever little smoke it emits, it finally adds to the carbon tank of the atmosphere, and this carbon dioxide tank, it slowly accumulates. It is increasing the temperature of it is increasing the global temperature, and it has got a lot of externalities. Increasing humidity is one cause. The dry areas are becoming more dry. The arid area, the rainy areas are becoming more wet. So all these are negative externalities that are affecting the environment. In fact, the University of Chicago has developed several models by which they are modeling the climate change and how the increase in carbon dioxide, increase in sulfur dioxide, how these are affecting the infrared wave that is coming from the sun, and how it is affecting the earth mass heat balance has been very aptly depicted there. Now we will see what is polluter pays principle. Polluter pays principle means that those who are responsible for this pollution should only pay the cost of the pollution as well as the cost of remediation of that pollution, such that cost never occurs. Now this is a very important case which is earmarked in the nuisance negligence law, that is the common English law. Let us look at the Pigovian tax. The Pigovian tax is a tax on a market negative externality. One example of this is the carbon tax. Now, whoever emits more carbon dioxide in the environment, they should be charged more for the energy products like petroleum products that they are using. So whoever is driving more, whoever is consuming more petroleum for driving more, they should be charged, and this charge is known as Pigovian tax, and it is a tax on the negative externality. Then we have got the emission trading scheme. The emission trading scheme, what it does is that it encourages the more economical use of resources. How it does it? It does so because suppose, taking an example, suppose you have got several industries. Now all these industries have got certain limit of pollution. So the industry which is able to control pollution economically by not having much research or much cost, they can reduce it easily. But the industry which needs a very high cost to reduce its pollution, and it finds that it can buy more pollution permit, and they are permitted to emit more, thereby their economy is not hampered. So the essential difference between Pigovian tax and emission trading scheme is that the Pigovian tax, it basically taxes you more. It is not generating a curtain on how much pollution you can make, but the more pollution you can make, the more cost you will have to do. So there is no upper ceiling of how much pollution you can make. But in emission trading scheme, the certain level of pollution is decided that you cannot make pollution more than this, and only emission permits are traded between the firm which is less economical, and between the firm which can control the environmental negative effects more economically. Now let us look at the role of supply chain. How the role of supply chain is there in greening the economy. There is, as we know, there is consumption complexity. Now the consumption is going on increasing day by day, and apart from that, the supply chain as an enabler is making available all the product that have got utility and time value. You demand certain product, even in the middle of the night, it is available to you through efficient and enabling supply chain. So there is variety of choice to the individual, and this variety of choice leads to more complexity as to what that individual will consume. The business model of a particular firm can be effective. It can generate fund. It can generate profit only when it meets the time and utility value of a consumer. So the consumer more, but it wants the supply chain to be more responsive. So in this way, the consumption complexity is increasing between the variety of goods. Now there are various stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Till now, in the supply chain, we have considered stakeholders as a part of supply chain itself. Like either it will be the tier 2 supplier, tier 3 supplier, or tier 1 supplier. Then either the stakeholder will be the operations, or the stakeholder will be the distributor, the retailer, or the stakeholder will be the consumer. Now it's not only restricted to this much. Now the whole society has come into the picture, and we are talking today about corporate social responsibility. Now, corporate social responsibility aims at generating positive externality to the society, that whatever the industry is doing, it should contribute certain percentage of their earning in developing greener avenues for the whole society. The business environment affects the society externally, and it tries to compensate that that negative effect through corporate social responsibility, thereby trying to generate a positive effect. That is, it is trying to nullify whatever negative it has done to the society. So thus, this corporate social responsibility is an important part of stakeholder management. And this stakeholder is not only the whole parties that are involved in the supply chain, not only their interconnections, but even these interconnections go beyond, and even a common person who is paying a tax, he is a stakeholder. Even though not even all the processes involved in the industry, but each and every common individual, not only the common individual, each and every animal, each and every flora, fauna, each and every genetic resource that gives us the propensity to contribute positively to the society becomes a stakeholder. We are talking about eco-efficiency. It means that we design the product in such a manner that it is very eco-friendly. The production process is so efficient that that the negative externality is minimum. This is known as eco-efficiency. We are increasing the efficiency of the product making. We are increasing the efficiency of the processes in such a manner that the negative externality to the environment and the society at large is minimum. Eco-designing means that we are designing a product in such a way that minimum usage of resources are required, and even if the resources are required, those resources are such that it has got very minimal effect on the environment, very minimum harmful effect. Now let us look how strategic sourcing can come into the bigger picture of the supply chain. Strategic sourcing, it includes the spend analysis. It includes the selection of supplier based upon the data that we analyze. This data we get from the firm's spend analysis, what all resources the firm has spent on what product, and how this product is economical to the environment, and how this whatever spend is there, whether all these spend are used sustainably, that is, whether these spend are distributed between tier 2 supplier, tier 1 supplier, tier 2 supplier. All these spend will be distributed because these suppliers are giving us the resources. For those particular resources, we are paying them back. So if this tier 1 supplier and tier 2 supplier, if their processes are more environmental friendly, if their processes are more sustainable, then we will have a positive effect on the whole environment. Thus, by strategic sourcing, we are choosing such suppliers who are following ISO norms, who are following an environmental management system, who are having all the procedures and all the safety measures in place, who are following the health requirements of their employees, and who are further increasing the efficiency of their product and process, so that we can achieve much negative externality to the environment. Now let us look at what is green business value. Business value means that how we should add more value to the whole business. Till now, the business as well as the environment, they were considered negative to each other, and if a business will grow, it should not take care of the environment. But now it is the other way around, that we are seeing the whole life cycle costing. Let us just explain to you. Let me just explain to you what is life cycle costing. It means that once a product it is manufactured, it comes into consumption, then how this whole product over its life, how it contributes to the overall well-being of the society and the person particularly who is consuming this material. So we add the cost that is there for the product, for the initial manufacturing, then for its maintenance and repairs, then subsequently for its usage, then subsequent and last for its disposal, and how this disposal is environmental friendly, and what is the cost of the disposal to the environment. We consider all this, that is the cost of manufacturing to the cost of disposal. This is known as a cradle to grave concept, whereas we fully analyze the life cycle costing of the product. Thereby we achieve the cost advantage in the whole life cycle, not only within the product but across the product and across the whole society. So thus strategic sourcing is a very, very important phenomenon which can give rise to a business value, the life cycle costing, the total cost of ownership of a product. All these concepts, the total value addition that a product gives, and the total cost, including the external costs of the environment, should be included in the in how much business value the particular product is giving. Then we have got environmental branding. Now, environmental branding is a great resource by which a company or an organization can increase its self-image. Nowadays, the consumers, they are very much conscious of what product they are using. They are using organic foods. They are using products in which production no child labor is used. All these are legal norms. But apart from the legal norms, there are certain over and above. There is certain value add-on that this environmental branding provides. If a firm says that that I am using a product in which no child labor is utilized, it will market that firm, and it will for the whole society. So this is meant by environmental branding. Now, how we can green the upstream supply chain. So I had talked to you earlier about the first tier and the second tier supplier. The first tier is the supplier who is the immediate supplier to your production process or your production manufacturing facility. And the second tier supplier are the suppliers who are supplying to this first tier supplier. Now, all these first tier supplier, the second tier supplier, all these are known as the upstream to the supply chain. If we are following certain, if we are buying certain products, if we are procuring certain products, now how we are procuring certain products and what all products we are using, those products should be environmental friendly in the sense that they should generate a positive environmental impact on the first tier supplier and subsequently on the second tier supplier. Are our first tier supplier following environmental management system? Do they have ISO 18001 in place? Do they have safety requirement for the worker, that is Operation Health and Safety Regulation, OSAS, in place? And how these being in place are affecting the second tier supplier also? Are we using the product that while manufacturing from the second tier supplier and the first tier supplier, what is the carbon dioxide, what is the pollution that is created by this process of moving a good from first year or the second year? Are they included in our evaluation criteria? So this is very important. Then the whole supply chain span should be considered, and this whole supply chain span is a web, because one organization may have several manufacturers. Now these several manufacturing units may have multiple first year supplier. These multiple first year supplier may have even multiple second year supplier, and there may be product up and down between the first year and the second year supplier. That is, a product can move from the second year supplier to the first year supplier, and after some modification can again move to the second year supplier for further value addition, and then again it can move to the first year supplier. So thus this whole supply chain span is a very big span, and the greening of the economy, greening of the supply chain should be considered across the whole span. We have got the legal compliance, we have got the environmental law, we have got the Environmental Protection Act, we have got the Water Prevention and Pollution Act, we have got the Noise Pollution Prevention Act, and all these acts are there. All the legalities of common law of trespass, negligence, nuisance is there. And then this environmental management system as well as ISO 14001 has clearly described what all are the basic processes that has to be followed. What are all the norms that should be followed to have an environmental friendly production system? We should explore all the options that are available to us to have a product that is more environmental friendly, and we should prioritize on all options after exploring all the options. Now, how we will green the downstream supply chain? I have already told you about choice editing. Here, say any retail store, it decides what to have and what not to have. Okay, but the major demerit of this choice editing is that maybe the individual consumption is such oriented that it is interested to consume something which may not be more environmental friendly. Thus, the person who is doing choice editing loses on opportunity cost. Had this product been available on the shelf space, that industry would have generated profit out of sale. So choice editing is a restricted thing, scarcely used by the retailers. Instead, what is used is priming. Now, what is this priming? Priming means that certain products are encouraged to be bought by the retail stores. Advertisements are there, the product catalogs are displayed, what are the environmental benefits of that product are displayed in the packaging. And as you would have seen a bottle of water, on the bottle of water is written that for producing this bottle of water, this bottle of water has in fact increased the virtual water availability in the whole supply chain. Now, what is this virtual water? The virtual water is that each and every item that we are using, it is having water. Rice is having certain water for its production. So whatever is the product that we are using, whatever water it consumes in generating that product, in processing that product, and in building that product on the customer shelf, that is known as virtual water. So this thing is an example of priming. Then any retailer can have allocation of shelf space. That is, they can allocate their shelf space accordingly. They can have more front shelf space for environmental friendly products, and maybe the less environmental friendly products can be kept backside. Thus, the allocation of shelf space should be such that it generates a positive impact on the choices of the individual customer, as well as on affecting on affecting how the particular consumer behaves by seeing a particular product. Then there is third party eco-labeling and eco-branding, whereby the third party, which is neutral, it can brand a certain product after doing some tests, and it can brand whether the product is environmental friendly, how much it is environmental friendly, how much carbon dioxide or how much negative externality it will release in the environment once consumed. So now we move to green business strategy. The first phase of any strategy is to have commitment. We must be committed towards having a green environment. We must be committed to having a sustainable supply chain, and then we should comply with all the legal norms that are available, and then there should be awakening in each and every person consciousness that no, we have to use this product which is environmental friendly. So this whole is an internal process that a particular organization has can internally commit and comply to this agenda, and it can awaken itself to a more sustainable pattern. Then we move to the second phase. The second phase talks about operational excellence. Operational excellence talks about, operational excellence talks about how we can increase the efficiency in the operational process, thereby reducing the effect to the environment by using the product more by making the process so smooth that the negative externality to the environment is reduced. Then we talk about the product excellence and the process excellence. The process should be so smooth so that the environment is very less negatively affected. The process should be such that it should be environmental friendly. Then in the third phase, by driving business value for sustainable development, we can have a business case that sustainability is not having a negative effect on the business process of a particular firm, but it is having a positive effect, as by using that business case, the firm is positively gaining on both the negative externality that it causes to the environment, as well as the image, the social image that it has in the eyes of the common people, and thereby it increases its marketability and its brand value. And at the last, we will look at the green public procurement. There are various environmental and sustainability concerns. All these environmental and sustainability concerns we have discussed in this topic. The green public procurement is the process by which we procure environmental friendly goods, and how these environmental friendly goods can be procured by developing a sound tender evaluation criteria, wherein all these negative environmental externalities should be counted as cost in deciding which is the lowest, and a very important parameter of green public procurement. Then there are certain bonus criteria, that is, if the firm has done something very proactively in sustainable development, then it can be given additional points in this tender evaluation criteria, and thereby maybe it can be awarded the contract if it is found to be technically and environmentally and sustainable. So friends, I thank you very much for this, for giving me the opportunity to present you this topic. I hope this topic will generate further interest in knowing more about what are the ways and means to control the negative externality, to have more positive effect on the environment. I am very thankful to all of you for a patient hearing, and thank you very much.